Hi guys, welcome to another video. Today we are in my office or my bedroom. I'm hoping the lighting does a better job than last time. No! So, audio. Audio is one of the more underappreciated aspects of filmmaking. I think we prefer to focus on the visuals, the subject, the colours, but in reality, audio makes up 50% of the viewing experience. And for weddings in particular, I would argue it makes up even more. So for my style of wedding filmmaking, audio is the foundation for the storytelling to take place. But what is the best way to capture it? Now, over the last few years, I've tried just about everything and have gone through several different methods. After going from literally taping a lapel microphone to a stand to using some of the best gear there is, I've come to the conclusion that there is no best way, just many different ways that have different levels of quality, convenience, and prices. Three very important aspects for us filmmakers, so I've ranked 4 different methods into levels. Level 1, the shotgun microphone. Level 2, lapel mics. Level 3, the Zoom H1N. And level 4, the Zoom F6. Each level has its own pros and cons. They are by no means not the only options, but they're 4 that I've used extensively, so I feel comfortable talking about them. Some may be for you, and some may not, but I think by watching this video and understanding all 4 of these options, you'll have the knowledge you need to make the decisions of what you need to get and what you need to do to capture the best audio for you. Level 1, the shotgun microphone. We'll start easy, as this is something that I think everyone should own and use regardless of what other ways and methods you go for. I'm actually using mine right now. It's right over here. So 99% of the time I'm using this microphone. This is a Rode VideoMic Pro. It costs about £150. I believe Takstar and also Rode actually offer some cheaper options. This is super useful for capturing most audio.
Wow, this fits perfectly. I'm like, it's a 40 short. He goes, no, it's a 42, sir.
Oh, look at this.
What do you think, Phil?
Fantastic.
Do you love it?
Love it. Gorgeous. Gorgeous. What can you say?
Other than speeches and the ceremony, this should be your go-to audio option. I even use it to capture some speeches, usually the more impromptu types. I just make sure I'm quite close so I can capture it well.
If that's the case, with those words of assurance.
I also use it to capture speeches even when I'm using other methods, just as a reference, so that I can synchronize the audio and the video in post. In short, you should get this, no matter what other audio options you're using. Level 2, lapel mics. Now, these little things are brilliant. They're small, convenient, and they always make the final edit in some capacity. I own 2 different types, and the one I recommend using is the Tascam DR10L. I picked up 2 of these after being recommended by Matt Johnson, one of the top wedding filmmakers out there, and I've not looked back. I believe they cost about 170 each. They record internally and they have excellent battery life. So essentially you give these to the officiant or whoever you're recording, you hit record and you say see you later. I'll get these from you when you're done. Again, these can be used for speeches, for ceremonies. I use them for officiants even when I'm recording through the PA system, but more on that later, but just as a backup. And for when they may step away from the microphone to have a private word, but you still want to record it.
There's lots of love in this room for you guys. But Josh, it's time.
And of course they are absolutely necessary if there's no PA system. In terms of flaws, I would say the quality isn't as good as the levels that we're going to move on to, but they're still fantastic, don't get me wrong, but I use them mainly as a backup. I also own the Rode Wireless Go microphones. These are brilliant, however I wouldn't recommend them for weddings. Yes, they are wireless and you can monitor the sound live, but if something goes wrong, what are you going to do? Interrupt the ceremony or the speech? Of course you're not. So for this reason, I always have at least 2 sources of audio and I mainly use the lapel microphones as backups. Level 3, the Zoom H1N. Now we're not at the top level yet, however this is my go-to main audio source. It's not my only audio source as we discussed, but this is what I rely on for my highest quality audio. This device is incredible if there's a PA system available. It costs about £100 and it can be plugged directly into the soundboard, and you'll be getting audio through the microphone with incredible quality that I rarely need to make edits to.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us here today.
No one is more surprised than I am to find myself standing before you today as a married man.
This is amazing because I can chat to her about anything and everything.
I am Dan's younger brother and I am the better man. I'm the best man.
Now, there are a couple of things that you need to know about this to get the best results. Firstly, you need an array of cables. I spent between £30 to £50 or so just making sure I had every cable possible, as you never know what outputs the DJ will offer you after you politely ask if you can plug in. My go-to is XLR, but it may be RCA, it may be aux. The DJ will usually be able to help you out, but I'd recommend owning all of these cables so that you're ready. And I've included links for all the ones I own below. Secondly, and this is an absolute game changer, you need an attenuator cable. This cable saves my life, and it is the main reason why this is my go-to option. In simple terms, because they're the only terms that I know for this, the attenuator cable regulates the sound so that you won't get any peaking or distortion. Without this, you can set the audio at a level, but between toasts or speeches, you'll need to adjust it. And if anyone talks a bit louder than normal, you're screwed. This cable costs about £10, and it just goes in between your Zoom H1N and the connecting cable via a little joining thing. Again, links in the description. And there you have it, crisp, clear audio that you can hit record and leave. Level 4, the Zoom F6. And here we are at the final level. Now this is the Zoom F6, and it is an absolute beast. It is spenny, it's about £500, but it may be worth the investment for you. It has like 6 different inputs, which are female XLR, and most importantly, it records in 32-bit floating audio, which essentially is raw audio. It means that in post you can adjust your audio levels if it's recorded too loud or too quietly without compromising the quality. Using this almost feels like a bit of a cheat. Now I would recommend still that you set your audio levels, as it's not a miracle worker, but then when I have used this, I've just left it, and anything that was too loud or quiet, I can just adjust it in post and it comes out perfectly. The quality of this is obviously fantastic, and if you're someone who likes to tweak audio and add your edits, then I'd certainly recommend this. And again, I would recommend having all the different cables and converters that you may need to fit the DJ soundboards. Now this is the ultimate audio recorder, so you may be wondering why I use the other cheaper Zoom device, the Zoom H1N. I bought this, and as you'd expect, I was a bit nervous with it at first. So for the first few weddings, I plugged in both my Zoom devices, just in case. I personally found that the difference in the sound quality was so small that I couldn't really justify the price tag and extra editing, adjusting the levels. Here's the difference.
Life with her has always been easy, and it felt inevitable from a very early day that this day would come. Life with her has always been easy, and it felt inevitable from a very early day that this day would come.
So yeah, you may notice a bit of a difference, but it's probably pretty irrelevant to your average wedding couple. Now I still have it because I figured it's useful to have if I ever need to back up my backup or if I need that extra editing flexibility, but for me the Zoom H1N does the job. So there you go, there are my 4 different methods of audio. As you've probably worked out, I use, and you probably need, 2 to 3 of the options rather than just one. They're different options for different needs and for supporting and backing up each other, rather than options where you just pick one you fancy. I do hope that's given you some insight into wedding audio. There's so much information out there, and I watched so many videos on my filmmaking journey, but ultimately the best way to go about this is to just film weddings. Try different things, and that's exactly how I gained the knowledge to make this tutorial. As mentioned, the links to everything that we discussed are in the description, and if you like this, I'd really appreciate it if you like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.